So we're live. Welcome back to the Magicminds podcast studio. We have another live interview today. We are joined by Anthony Freeman. Anthony, what's the crack?
Alright.
Guys, our series is, well, for last week and this week is Unearthing the Magic of the Liberty. So I've asked Anthony to come on. I was really surprised after I met him to hear his story. I thought he was just doing amazing work in the community, but then as we had a coffee, we talked about his life. He's overcome some amazing barriers in life. His attitude is absolutely fantastic, and it's everything that we are on the podcast, stories that have the power to inspire. So look, I'm absolutely delighted to have you on.
I'm here, glad to be here, a bit nervous, but I'm alright.
Makes two of us. So look, come here. The people that don't know you, I'm sure people that listen to the show and follow us on Facebook know you, but for anyone that doesn't, tell us a little about you, where you're from and what you do.
Well, I grew up in Oliver Bond, and then I moved to Inchicore, then I moved to Bradley Street, so I've been all around the Liberties really. I work in Robert Emmet CDP. We're a community development agency, so what we do is we try to facilitate the community needs. At the moment we're running something called Aging with Competences for over 50s, and it's to teach them like just how to look after themselves as they get older and stuff like that, and that's running now for 7 weeks. So if you drop down on a Wednesday before 10, you can join in once you're over 50.
Deadly.
And then we're running a cookery class for our seniors as well. A lot of it at the moment is our seniors, but we run an after school club for kids as well, and Austin has loads of plans for the place. Like, so
where actually is the Robert Emmet?
it's on Russia Street at the back of Oliver Bond.
Alright, we walked by that myself and Andy one day. He was showing me. That's deadly. You do tours with them, and I've seen you. Is it walking in their shoes?
In our shoes,
walking in our shoes. Tell us a little about that. Me and you had a chat about that. How was that for you starting off?
I was mad.
Me and you talked about that, and we were kind of the same kind of feelings and stuff.
Well, I went into Robert Emmet sort of looking for them to help me find a job, and the girl there sort of railroaded me into, why don't you try this, and she wouldn't leave me alone about it, so I sort of went on it for a day just to see how it was, and when I seen the person doing it, I thought, I can do better than him, I know more than him, so that sort of encouraged me a little bit. And then I spent the day with Tommy Tiernan in a group setting, and all this started to add up, and I started to do it, and then I started doing the tours, and it was learning the history was a big thing. But then I ended up sort of being the only one doing it. I'm sort of the face of it now, and I run it. So I don't run it, but I'm the main person in it. And the tours for me, what the tours for me is about showing people we're in the community, that the Liberties, I talk about the history and all, but my emphasis is always this is a village in the city. This is people live here, people are raising their families here, there's nothing but hotels and student accommodation getting lashed up everywhere, but they're forgetting, the Liberties is the most densely populated part of Ireland. Nowhere in Ireland does more people live than in the Liberties.
Really?
Yeah, and that's, I only learned that a while ago myself. It's the most densely populated this country, so it's this is full of families and things like that, so I want people to come, because I mainly get Irish people on the tours, people on the weekend, our businesses sending their office workers out, so I want them to come away with that feeling that this is a community, and a strong community. And
we're losing that social awareness now, aren't we? With all these business and the money coming in, families can't afford to buy houses in their area, because I live in the flats, you're from the flats. So where do people buy now with all this money coming in?
I've been told recently by someone people shouldn't have the right to choose where to live, and I've heard that off TDs as well, on the telly, which is it's an unbelievable statement, really. What? Yeah, shouldn't have to, I've heard that on the Tonight Show a few times, and this is the story, people, essentially you don't have the exact right to choose where you live, but you should have some say in it.
From the very get-go, we were in tribes, villages, you lived with your people.
But conditions would always facilitate where you had to live, you know what I mean? So it's still the same now, but just the attitude, I heard someone say the other night, social housing is treated as a disease, really. So that's what you see. But you see that, now and again I'll have someone on tour who's a bit of an arsehole, they'll have that classism about them, they'll quit once they realise I'm from the flats. At the start I'll be telling all the history and they'll think I'm great, and then we'll get to the flats and I'll say this is where I'm from and this is that, and you can see the shift straight away. They'll start asking me how my line and all about things and all. I'll bite my tongue with that, but I'll think,
Come here, me and you talked about when you started it off, and it was very similar when I started working in my job in a professional environment. I had this kind of nervousness and an imposter syndrome. Did you ever experience that when you started doing the tours, going into the flats?
I get it a lot now. the imposter syndrome sort of thing. I get a lot of, like, people are gonna figure me out. People are, like, because I get a lot of compliments, which is, my ego goes up and up and up. It's, most of the time, sometimes I think they're patting me on the head, like, you know, that way.
Like a good puppy.
Yeah. Or sometimes like when someone's saying something nice, you get that, like, they're singing happy birthdays. You know that feeling, a real awkward feeling. You don't know where to look, or. I get that all the time. Like, we done an exhibition about 2 weeks ago, and
my niece said it was brilliant.
Yeah, and after that, I thought to myself, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm quitting. Like, the next day, I thought, I'm quitting and all. This is, like, I just felt like everything came at me too quick, and people were saying all these lovely things to me and all, and I was just fucking freaked.
Yeah, you wanted to bounce.
I did. I thought to myself, right, no, that's too much attention.
Too much attention.
Fuck this. Even when, and then you text me and all, and I was like,
this is all a bit mad, isn't it?
I was sort of course and all.
You're allowed you're in the flats, you can say what you like, it's our podcast, we can say what we like here.
Just don't go, like, happy with going.
Come here, so look, take us back growing up as a child. You know, did you have social anxiety back then, nervousness?
When I was a teenager, I started to get
not feeling wanted or fitting in. Tell us a little bit about that then.
When I was a teenager, I started to feel that way. I got bullied a bit in secondary school. The first 2 years, like, normal bullying, like, that kids do to each other, but I don't think that ever had an effect on me, the normal bullying. I think it actually had a positive effect on me, the normal bullying, because I think it taught me how to use my sense of humour to get out of things, because I was always a smaller kid compared to everybody else. I was always a year younger than everybody else in my class, really. So it sort of taught me to make people laugh and throw a bit of stick, and I'll get me out of a situation. But it was when I got the third year and this teacher came along. She was the art teacher. She just destroyed me. She really did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It was like, in school I wasn't great. I've never been great with spelling or maths, and so but art was my thing. Like, and she came along and she just made me feel like I've no hope in this. Like, this is
like, what kind of things did she say?
She done weird stuff. She, like, when I look back, she just done weird stuff. I was a mouthy little bollocks in other people's classes, so she took it upon herself. She was gonna be the one to sort me out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she threw me, like, anytime we had to learn anything, like, about, like, artists, like, stuff, like, theory,
art history, and all
stuff
that
like that.
Stuff. Yeah,
she put me
Renaissance and all that bullshit.
She put me out of class. She'd make me sit outside. Like, I'd never messed in her class. Like, I never messed in history or art class when I was in secondary school. I never did, because they were me things I loved. Like,
and she just took a dislike.
Well, I was a little bollocks in other people's classes. Like, I've no problem admitting that, but she really went out of her way to make me feel like this is not for you. Like, I do pictures. We done it. The one that sticks out in my mind is one year there was this big suicide awareness, like, bullying campaign. So I drew a picture of a young lad that hung himself, and loads of details. Like, I was really proud of it. And then when the exhibition was on, I went, and the whole thing was covered in felt and all. She was at the covering up all the details in the drawing and all, and acting like she actually told me she made it better. Like, and so that started having a knock-on effect. Like, I didn't think, like, what's the point?
Wow.
And then by the time I left secondary school, I didn't give a bollocks about that. I genuinely didn't. I had anxiety around crowds. I've always had anxiety around crowds. Like, I do get nervous around crowds, but after a whole, I really didn't think, like, fuck it, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm building sites. I go on a building site, and I hated that. And it's a great job, and I got great laugh, but it wasn't me. Like, you know what I mean? And
yeah, when you were in crowds with friends and all, did you feel wanted? Did you feel part of that, or?
No, sometimes, like, when I was in my early 20s, I could be, but as I was getting older, I started, like, I'd be sitting with all my mates and be all laughing, and I'd be thinking to myself, not one of these people want me here. Like, and that was a thought constantly in my head. Like, I'd always think it started off, it was laziness, not walking and all, but then I felt like I couldn't do anything, and then it just got worse and worse in my head, where I'd avoid conversations, and, like, I'd actually have a fear of someone saying to me, like, what are you doing with yourself? Like, that was a real genuine fear in my head. Instead of going out and solving that and getting a job and doing that, I thought, like, what am I gonna get? Like, what am I gonna do with myself? Like, who's gonna give me a job in the first place? I was thinking stuff like that. I was just constantly felt like I couldn't do anything. Like, if someone said to me, there's a job there to you tomorrow, I'd do it, and once it was like, carry that box from there to there, I'd be grand.
Do you relate that back to the whole school experience, not feeling good enough, or just a general sense of a lack of confidence or self-esteem?
I was always just a little bit shy. I've always been a little bit shy and a bit self-conscious, like. But as I got older, I don't know why I got as bad as I did. Like, by the time I was 26, 27, I wasn't leaving my house barely. Like, you know.
Really?
Really, for about 2 years. And about 2 years, yeah. I'd leave, I'd go out every few weeks and just go out for a few drinks with someone, and then the next day after I drank, that was when I was at its worst. Like I'd have mad thoughts. Like I'd be thinking, what did I say to this person? What did I say to that person? Like I'd feel like
fear by 100.
Yeah, I'd feel like a horrible person. For now, like I wouldn't be at the doing it, but I'd constantly have this feeling of guilt, and I was at the doing something, or I was doing something wrong to somebody, and it'd be nothing because I'd have no contact with people anyway. So it was just a constant.
And how did you deal with it? Or did you deal with it?
I didn't deal with it. I just smoked weed and took sleeping tablets and all, anything to shut my brain off. Everything to avoid the thought. Like that was my daily goal.
And I knew you growing up, but I thought you were a lot younger because you look about 12.
I look great. I do look great.
You look better. I mean, you don't have ginger hair. I used to see you going around with earphones, head down. I was like, he's just a quiet lad and all. That was purely like sometimes I wouldn't even have the earphones plugged into that, and like I'd genuinely leave the house with earphones in and not plugged into that, and just to avoid talking to someone. And that's like, and you know, anybody can relate to that. Like I've often when I'm really down or my head's wrecked, going across the road to avoid people. So you were in that state 24/7 or any time you were out for years.
For years, like I wouldn't be like constant. Like I'd be constantly miserable. Like, I'd have me times where I'd have a laugh, like, and be normal, like, but it'd be constantly on my mind, like that. And in a way, the crazy part about it is I'd rather someone thought I was an ignorant cunt or, you know, like thought bad of me in different ways than realising that I'm just vulnerable and I'm in a bad place and I've no self-esteem. I'd rather they thought I was this or that or a lazy cunt or...
Rather than being seen weak, vulnerable, not strong,
all that.
Soon to be, he's just rude and ignorant. That's
I'd much rather that, like...
Wow. So that must have been an extremely difficult period for you.
When I look back now,
You probably didn't actually... You probably weren't aware of being mindful of it. You were just in the
I knew I was in a bad way. I knew my life was miserable and I knew why it was. I just didn't know. I just didn't think to see a way out or knew what I could do or felt like I could do anything about it. Like.
Wow, that's unbelievable. And what part of your life then did you experience cancer? You had testicular cancer. How old were you then? 30, was it?
Yeah, I just turned 40, yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, what happened there was I was at there having kidney stones a few months before, and then I felt the lump, so I went up to Dr. Layton, and for about 4 or 5 times he told me like it was a cyst. But if it doesn't go, come back. So I left it for a while and I went on holiday. And when the day after I came back from holiday, I luckily had an appointment to see a urologist for the kidney stones. And I just happened to say to him, listen, will you check down there? And the next day I was brought in for an operation.
Were you embarrassed about that? The whole check there was...
No, I was at the pass in that point. I was actually afraid at that point. Because it was at the getting bigger and it was starting to worry me more and more. So I didn't let it go. Like, and that was probably one of the first times in my life I ever stood up and said, listen,
I need help.
Yeah.
White flag.
Yeah. So and as well, that sort of taught me a lesson then as well. Like, you should put your hand up when there's something wrong. Like, you know that way.
Right.
Whereas before, like, even my family didn't know he was miserable. Like, still to this day, I'd say a few of them are watching saying, "What the fuck's he talking about?" You know.
Yeah, like, and we do that like just to keep them safe. You know, as well. You went through the cancer. What was the treatment like for the cancer? What was the period of time that you went through? How long was it?
About 8 months. I done chemo, but. That was, I first had an operation, I had it removed, and it was about 5 months after that I came back again in my hips, in some area in my hips, where that was another thing I avoided finding out about. Like, I was just like, just do what you're going to do to me and don't tell me anything, like, you know, that way. I went into like just panic mode, like I was just do what you're going to do. I don't need to know everything, and Jennifer would be the one to listen, and my ma, and they take that on the head instead of me being there, where they, like, you know. Yeah,
Jesus Christ. And I'd say the chemo was quite extensive.
The chemo was what I fear more than the cancer. I'd fear chemo more than anything else, and that was probably one of the worst things I've had.
It just carpet bombs your whole system, doesn't it?
No, it just goes through you. I think the last 2 months of it were just hell. They were just every day I was in pain. After the second round of the chemo, I got an infection and I never left. It just kept getting worse, so I was never really out of hospital. So like you can come and go, like, but I got an infection, so they were constantly keeping me in, and I was just.
And then you'd have to stop the chemo then, wouldn't they?
Yeah, for a few weeks. So that's made a long.
Clear the infection, then go at it again. Yeah.
So that's why I went on so long. It was only meant to be like for about 4 months, but because of the infections kept on coming in, it got longer, and the weight I was just lashing on weight constantly, like a 5 stone altogether I put on during the chemo.
Jesus.
And I just felt like a different person after. Like I had a.
You were like a balloon, bro.
Yeah, like,
loads of war, attention.
Everything. Like I didn't only. Like I wasn't the fear of death then, I was at the fucking with me as a person again. Like where I was, just before I felt like I was at the fixing myself a bit, and then that hit me, and then I just sort of like fucking hell, not this guy.
Yeah. How did you handle it, or did you not handle it?
I avoided it.
Did you self-medicate? Did you?
I just avoided it. Like the medication and all, like the painkillers and all, like but for the most part, I avoided it. I'd use social media, I'd lose myself in social media, and just to avoid my own thoughts.
Is that where the sleepers come in again and smoke?
No, like once I got past the sleepers, and before that, when Janet came along, like once I got past the sleepers, I sort of knew, like, stay the fuck away from them. They have hooks, don't go near them. Like I knew that, like, but after that, it was just avoidance. Like the gym became the best avoidance tool I've ever had.
And I've had this conversation with people, you know, and I wrote a poem on, you know, exercise can be friend or foe.
Yeah.
You know, people can use exercise, healthy living, to avoid.
Yeah, and that's what it was. And
yeah.
I was just every day, I'd say, like, I'm keeping ahead of it. I'm keeping ahead of it with the gym, like, and
you were trying to outrun it.
Yeah, but I wasn't dealing with it mentally at all. I wasn't focusing on it. I was just keep ahead of the sickness, and that's all I was feeling. And like you pretend to people that things are going to change and things are going great, when I hadn't really. I was still the same person up here. I still felt like shit. Still felt like I couldn't do anything. Like I had no life prospects. Like I had nothing.
No goals, no future. You were running, but you were running nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was just in the.
So, no doubt you had a huge fear trauma.
Yeah. It was the chemo. It's the chemo I was most afraid of, because, like, when I was in hospital, 2 people
sickness,
died.
wasn't it?
Yeah. When I was in hospital, 2 people died. On the ward I was on, I didn't see them die because they moved them during the night. Like, but I got to sleep and next morning and someone was dead. Like, and that, like, and the 2 of them died from infections and stuff from the chemo. It wasn't from the cancer, like.
Wow.
So that fucks with me something terrible.
Really?
That probably, like, messed with me. And one of the infections I got really bad, where I came close to being fucked myself, like. Yeah. So I've just a real fear of the chemo I have now.
Yeah, absolutely. My own dad is going through it. He's 12 years now. 12 years on chemo. Yeah, I think 10 years. And it's getting more aggressive, and they have to go at it, and it's the sickness. Yeah. It actually tears the soul out of people, doesn't it? Yeah. They're just a silhouette of themselves, really, who's going around. It's soul destroying.
It is. It's horrible stuff. It is horrible stuff. Like, it just burns you. That's all I can imagine. Your worst hangover you have, that feels like that every day.
Yeah.
After the 3rd round, it starts to feel like you have the worst hangover you ever had every day.
Jesus Christ. What was the final? Where did it come to a head? What was the final straw for you? I know you and I talked the death in the family.
Yeah.
Did that bring the house the deck of cards down for you?
Yeah, fully. It was about 16, 17 months ago now. Her grandfather died, and I was in the room for it, and it was the first time I'd ever seen someone pass. I'd never, and he passed from cancer, but I thought I was well past that, and I dealt with it, and I wanted to be there for her and her family. I thought I was well able for this. I was in the gym every day, I felt great and stuff like that. But about 2 days after that, I was lying in bed and I was like, something just snapped. I just started crying and I couldn't stop.
Wow.
And then, like, the next day I was sitting, and I was just every bad thing, like, not every bad thing, every mistake I ever made in my life was just on replay in my head. Like, I could,
like a deck of cards flashing in front of you, like a real film.
And I just wouldn't stop. And for about 3 weeks, I was at the level nearly a stone. I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk, or, like, to anybody. I was just kept crying, and it was really, like, it was a proper break. I think it was a proper break. Like, I don't know why, but I think it was the shock of saying that snapped me into something, like, do something now where you're fucked. Like, I had that in my head, like, and I just couldn't stop, and then I went to the doctors one day and she put me on antidepressants. And I know, like, people say, you shouldn't use them and all, but for them 2 months I needed it. It gave me a time to breathe and look back at my life. And
I would never, I'm all about seeing the bigger picture and all sides of health, whether it's mental health, physical health, all that kind of stuff. And I wouldn't knock anyone for taking antidepressants, not taking them. It's about choice, and it's about whatever keeps you safe. Do you know what I mean? People that have these opinions are only fucking opinions, Opinions are like arseholes, everybody has one, but they're only useful to you. So if you need antidepressants or you need whatever, you go for it. Was there any time in your life that you felt suicidal, that game over?
At that point last year, for about a week, I thought to myself, like, I'm gonna have to, because I've no way out. Like, I wasn't thinking about anybody else at that point. I was just thinking, this is not stopping. Like, I can't sleep, I can't eat, I couldn't think of anything else. It was just everything, like, every wasted chance and all I ever had and stuff like that. It was on replay, and it was on a
all
loop.
in your mind.
All in my mind. It was just on a loop, and like, people were talking to me and I wasn't paying attention, and I was just thinking of these things constantly. It was a proper, like, severe snap.
It's like a train going off in your head.
Yeah.
Ruminating.
It was like someone digged me in the face and it just all flashed in. You know, that way. It wasn't like I was lying in bed thinking, my life is terrible. Like, I just woke up during the middle of the night and I was crying and I was fucking, all these thoughts were just...
How did Jennifer handle that?
She was freaked, because she was only ever losing her grandfather, so you had to think. I was dealing, like, I've had the cancer and all. She's dealt with all that as well with me, like, so it's been a toll on her as well. Like,
wow, she's some woman.
Yeah.
No doubt that, as you said earlier, your family didn't know a lot about that. Why did you not tell them? Why did you not? Was it a fear of...
Like, I didn't even want to tell Jennifer. Like, for the first 2 weeks of it, I didn't open my mouth to Jennifer till she caught me crying. And she was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And once she caught me, I couldn't stop. But the thing was, they were the last people I wanted to know I was feeling these things and feeling suicidal or didn't want my life, or they were the worst people I wanted to know, because they were at seeing me have cancer.
Right.
So they're gonna think straight away, fucking easy, thinks of killing himself after surviving something like that, and that played a massive part in feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was thinking of ending things when I was at the surviving this, and I don't know, it's just, they were the last people. I didn't want to worry them more than I was already worrying them. I just didn't want them to know more than anybody else.
But little did they know you hadn't actually dealt with the cancer.
No.
You avoided it, but they didn't know that they taught you. It was just the persona that you portrayed, that you were exercising, you were battling, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But really you were crumbling inside. You were scared and vulnerable and lonely. And
I was terrified. Like, up until 18 months ago, I was avoiding people. I was cutting people. Like, from the time I was about 28, I started cutting people out of my life. Like, that's what I started doing. I started gradually I got rid of this person, I got rid of that person, till I was less around my family. They'd have barbecues and I'd sit in the room on my own and they'd be all outside drinking and saying, what's the fucking wrong with him, he's a movie cunt. Like, and I'd rather they thought that. Like, if someone says what's wrong with you, I'd kick off, like, and start an argument, so they'd just leave me alone. Like,
wow.
Like, just things like that. I'd know ways to get people away from me, so we didn't have to answer all leading questions,
Tactics.
Yeah.
How long did that dark period last you?
About 8 years.
Did it?
Yeah, all in all about 8 years. Up and down, but
yeah,
feeling like I was like...
But the suicidal piece, when you felt like at your lowest
that was only about a month. I'd had times where I thought, like, I'd be better off when I was stuck in my room and all, I'd be better off, but I'd never got to a point where I thought, like, I'd have to do this or done that, like, where I'd fully believe I wanted to kill myself or anything, but
they were just fleeting thoughts. It was more like you just want to avoid the pain. I want this to stop, because I've been the same. Like, we talk about, I want to jump off a boat, and my mate Lou, he said, you don't want to die, you just want the pain to stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. But the pain was just constant, every hour, every minute, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
It's the avoiding thing, it's the segregating thing is the big one, because I really made sure I was around nobody for a long time.
Yeah.
And people seeing me on the street, even when I was younger though, I'd always been a bit shy. Like, if most people think of me when they were having a laugh at me, that they'd realise I'd had a drink on me, like, when they were having a laugh at me. They'd see me the next day, like, I'd have a great night with someone, and the next day I wouldn't talk to them at all. I wouldn't know what to say. I'd think that person was only talking to me, or that person was only with me because they had drink on them, like. And I
usually going through all these thoughts in your mind.
Yeah, straight away. I've always had that though. I was really self-conscious, and like when I drink on me, I'm just full of personality and full of laughter and all. I'm a happy drunk. But without it, I'm just, I used to be just in the shell, and I'd be like, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Unreal, isn't it? Like, just you, and again, me and you were talking about this. You never know what's going on for somebody.
Yeah.
You know, as they say, I knew you, and I thought, he's just a quiet kid, nice fella. But behind it all, you were struggling, you were falling apart, you were a fragment of a young man, you know, in your mind.
Yeah.
And like obviously a good-looking young man. I was thinking he has a lot going on for him. But really, you just know self-worth. And I'm sure there's tons of people that listen to this that can relate to that. You know, it's fuck.
And the shallow thing is, I did think I was a good looking fella.
So you were playing in two playgrounds.
It was sometimes I felt like I was living a double life. I really did, because I'd be having a laugh with someone, but in the back of my mind I'd be thinking, this is how I think someone fucking needs you. And it's still like, I still have days like that. There's still days where I grew up and with the job I think, none of these want me to work here, like, so I'll be a little slower going around, or I'll be real nervous talking to them in the job, like, and there couldn't be more encouraging. They couldn't be better people, like.
But you're watching out for danger.
I'm watching like for
the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
They're gonna find me out. They're gonna come in and say, we caught you.
Yeah, they're gonna come in and say, listen, we don't want you working here anymore because you're a waster or something like that. It's always just like, you always have that fear sometimes, but it's not really the same as not even close.
Yeah. Now you can call. You see it for where it is. You've
it's just a thought now.
You've developed an awareness around. You don't believe it anymore.
It used to be when I'd have a thought like that, it'd wrap itself around me and just hold on to me.
Like a boa constrictor. And you're like,
it's holding on to me. But now I see it, it's just a thought and it's gone.
Deadly. What would you say was the turning point? Was the main thing that freed you from that period, that dark place? What were I'm sure it's not one thing, I'm sure there's many things.
It was a knock-on effect. I got rid of the sleeping tablets and took myself out of that situation where I was segregating myself from everybody, and so I learned I could do that. And then the cancer, I don't feel like the cancer really, I done anything with the cancer, I just survived. Like, I didn't do anything really, I don't feel like, you know what I mean? That way about it. Like, it was just something that happened and it dealt with it that way.
Yeah, just it went and came through the medical.
Yeah, it was all the doctors. It was nothing to do with me. But it was then, like, when I started doing the gym, like, that taught me I could stick to something, like, and I could have determination to something. But then the big thing was after the breakdown, I was lost, and then this poster appeared in the flats. Wanted, they said, and Janet was like, why don't you just go around and try and just talk to them? So I just did, and she just kept on me about going to them, and that's when the tours and all started. Started off first, like, they were at the start of the tour, so I think but no one really stuck it out. So they needed me as much as I needed them, so that was really good. Like,
yeah, and the universe gave you what you needed at the time, and I looked after them as well.
Yeah, and then Maureen, she sort of railroaded me into doing it, like. All these, she was saying, but we give you all these training, but you want to do them tomorrow? You know, right? And I was like, no, definitely not. And then I met, then about 3 days after I'd first gone in, I met Tommy Tiernan, and he done a thing where everybody in the room, so that gave me a little boost, like, mainly because I was looking at the people who were doing tours, and I was thinking to myself, you'd be grand.
I could do better than that.
Then that's like, they start to have that attitude, and then I done a tour, and I sort of just stayed quiet for the first 5 or 6. Didn't really say much, just watched what other people were doing, and then I'd drop in little things about what I did when I was growing up. But then the feedback kept coming back that that's what people were interested in. It was the stories I was telling, so that started to give me more of a little boost. And the tours just sort of. My worst fear was being around people and speaking to people, so the tours were just, I couldn't, like, if you'd have said it to me 5 years ago, you'd be doing tours, like, take the fuck off and laugh at you, like, there's not a hope I'd have believed you.
Yeah, we're the same, yeah.
Yeah, well now, I love it, like, I do love doing them. Even if I move on to something else, I'll still do them in my spare time, because it's having a great, like, we have a bad reputation in Dublin, like, rightly or wrongly, we do have a bad reputation, and anybody that comes on a tour, like, they usually live with a different understanding on it, and that's what the aim is. And the aim of the tour as well is it's to offer employment for other people in the area, maybe older people who can't get it. Like, there's a lot of older men and women who are breaking their backs most of their life, so it's a handy number for them. Like, so I'm hoping I can get enough tours going during the week that we can hire people for the summer, and at least 2 people for the summer, because that was the point of starting. It was to offer people new employment around here, and it's sort of my thing now, and I've took ownership of it, and that's what I want. I want other people to feel now how I feel.
Yeah, deadly. And I just want to tap into what kept you safe. What would you say were the main things that kept you safe? I know you've got great support in Jennifer. She takes no messing, but she's a great support for you. And I know you have a good group of friends.
Yeah.
So just for anyone listening, like, how did you get yourself out? I know you done the antidepressants. What other things kept you safe?
The antidepressants they don't kick in for a few weeks. And
they take about 28 days or
yeah,
something to
they
get
fuck with you before that.
Yeah.
They
You go
fuck with
down
you.
before you go up, before you get that pharmacological
But what got me
effect.
through me that period, what got me through me that little period was talking to my friends. It was talking to and Darden, Uncle Darden, and Carl, cousin Carl, and then Paula, drummer, and Pablo. They were the only people I let in on it.
Like, I have a friend, psychiatrist, and she says friends are cheaper than a counsellor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They know you and they look after you, and I want to just echo that point. Talking is a big piece.
That's what, and it's not even what they're saying back to you. It's just you saying out loud what you're thinking, and then realising that's fucking mad.
Yeah, that's where you go to a counsellor.
Yeah.
It's just an empty space.
Yeah.
And you just take those thoughts out of your head, and you just say them out loud, and you go, wow.
And after that snap, the things I said was probably the first time I'd actually admitted them to someone else. You know what I mean? So, and then when I said it out loud for the first time, I was like, that's fucking mad. What are you thinking? You know that way, like.
The thought, you then start to question your thoughts. You then become the watcher of your mind.
Yeah. I'm always a really self-aware person. I think the only benefit of me closing myself off and all, it's after giving me that, like, I'm really aware of other people's feelings. I can read.
You're in tune.
Yeah, I can really read things.
Emotional intelligence now.
Yeah, all that. Like, I only finished a college course, and she told you to list your
strengths.
Yeah, your strengths, and I wrote 1 or 2 things, and she came back, that's ridiculous, these are all your strengths, and I'm looking at them saying, Jesus, you know what I mean? I'm actually alright.
I'm kind of decent.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it? Come here, me and you were talking about barriers and bigotry. When I started in the National Rehab in 2010, when I went as a volunteer, as a student, I had barriers in my mind. I had kind of them, they're middle class, they be looking at me, I'm from the flats. I had my bigotry, my judgments as well. Give us your thoughts around that. I didn't realise how much of a big little bollocks I was, I genuinely didn't until I started working in there, because I really had the attitude, especially with upper class people from a privileged background. I always thought, what the fuck do they know? Like, they'd be talking to you about stuff and they'd be like, what the fuck do you know? You know, I'd always had that, like, reverse snobbery. That's what it was. I'd always had the reverse snobbery, like, because I'd always felt reverse snobbery. I like that.
I'd always had that, and I'd like to be talking to me and I just think cunt in the back of my mind all the time. Like, to be talking to me, and I probably had that about a lot of people, because I was obviously like, I've made all these changes, but I'm not a care bear. Like, I still go around thinking like, this fella's a prick. You know that way.
I actually said that at a talk.
Yeah.
Do you remember Andy was at the talk, and I says, look, I'm all about love and kindness, but don't get me wrong. My family will tell you I'm not a fucking care bear.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can be a prick sometimes.
Yeah. I haven't solved that problem. We can still have something to fuck off.
Anto, Paul Boylan is on here, and he said there is a score in the match, but he's going to leave you hanging.
I'm alright, I'll wait till I have a recording.
Fuck off. Don't be interrupting the interview. The barriers, how did you get over that? Did you just...
It's meeting all these people. Like, I think we have a class system in Ireland, but I think it's more political than with people. I'm only starting to realise that. Like, that's with the job. Like, with the job, I'm learning all these things. It's the same with, like, I'm all over Facebook the last few weeks, shouting at me about elections. It's because
you're a social media whore.
Yeah, but it's because I'm only learning these things as well. Like, I'm like, I learn that TD gets this. I'm like, what? Do people know this? Like,
yeah, but you know what you say, when you teach something, 2 people learn.
Yeah.
You teach someone, you learn, they learn. It's good.
So I'm only learning all this, and with Robert Emmett, like, there's no political alliances. We don't want to be involved with political alliances, but I'm only interested in all this personal. It's personal, my personal opinions. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like, but I still believe there's a class system in politics and media in Ireland, but with people every day you meet, like, most of the people that come in and try to help us, probably from privileged backgrounds themselves, like, and they're all brilliant people, just all they want to do is help. So it's amazing, like, when you meet all these people you realise there's no difference in, like,
it's just human beings.
Yeah, we're all the same, like, we all want happy life, we all want our families to do well, like, and we all want to look after our families, we all have the same problems, but most of the people who sponsor us and all are probably from privileged backgrounds. Most of the people who've helped me the last few months be from privileged backgrounds. Most, like Austin, I'd say, probably Maureen, she was from privileged backgrounds, but they have a passion for what they do and they love helping people.
Genuine care for humans.
Like Austin, what he does, like I'd say something to him and I'm learning a lot from him because he's a sound fella. Like, he'd be someone I probably 4 years ago I wouldn't give time of day to. Like,
so he was a prick.
Yeah, that's that. But he's not. He's fucking. He's on it. Like, you know what I mean. You'd say something to Austin like, "It'd be this little idea you'd have," or like we seen the murals in the flats years ago.
Yeah.
I showed him the video, and 10 minutes later he came back to me with a list of grants he can get, and like, we'll do this. We got all these people to do it, and it's fucking brilliant. Like, he's like that. Like, he's like that with everything, and he needs to buy clothes that fit him, but
I hope he's not fucking.
I hope he's watching. Like, we're going to run a charity night for him to get clothes that
stop buying your clothes and mother care.
Yeah.
Come here.
No, but it's brilliant.
You look through life a whole different lens back then. What's the lens that you look through now? What's that like?
I just enjoy everything. I'll walk around and I'll just take everything in all the time. Everything I just enjoy everything. Like, I write little things and I have a little notepad like the art is a massive thing for me now and all. But most of the day, like, I'll just pick up little wins during the day and that'll cheer me up, like something stupid, something simple. Like, if people
give us an insight to your wins. What's a win for you? You told me one the other day and I thought it was deadly.
Well, the one I told you, I'll tell. I was walking up Thomas Street. The light at Thomas Street went, or the light at Meath Street went green, then the one at the Coombe went green, and then the one at the other end of the Coombe went green, and then the one at Millennials went green, and just I didn't have to break stride once. Buzzing for the rest of the day.
Told you, and it's the little things in life.
It's buzzing for the rest of the day. Or 2 weeks ago, I had to go up to the medical centre in Michael's estate, but it was closed and I wasn't open for another 20 minutes, so I was pissed off. And then there's some woman throwing a ball for a red setter, and they're playing with the red setter for a bit till the place opened, and I'm delighted with myself the rest of the day.
That's fucking deadly.
I love red setters though. I have a thing for them, but I was just delighted with myself for the rest of the day because she let me play with a dog.
You seem to be a lot more grateful about life. You're more appreciative of what you have. I'm not saying you weren't before, but you're looking through life with a whole different prism.
I don't think I've changed as a person. I think I'm just comfortable and 100% confident in who I am now. Like, I can walk into a crowd of people and just talk away. I'm not about it. Like, I done a talk in UCD a while ago. I thought I was going to meet 3 or 4 people and just have a discussion. I showed up and it was a whole fucking auditorium full of people. There was like 200 people there, and I was like, didn't even prepare anything to talk about. I don't even think it was the subject we were studying when I ended up talking about. But I just had no problem doing it.
Deadly. Tell us about the art. It seems like you've gone full circle. And I was in school also told that I was shy at art, and I thought creativity was art, so I didn't think I was great. I've done a little bit of dancing years ago, which our cousin Mark Shane.
Yeah.
Who used to go to school and we were mates, so he used to teach dancing. I thought that was creativity, but again, you weren't meant to do that back then. You know, dancers are fucking. You were called a faggot if you done dancing back then. You know, slayed. So I never thought.
Yeah, but I seen all those dancers are bleeding shy, so
oh, you certainly aren't.
All those hip hop dancers do the same moves.
You're not a fucking care bear, are you?
No.
But so creativity was definitely off my radar. Now you're back with creativity. You're doing sculptures, art. Tell us a little bit about that. Actually, that's fantastic.
Well, I'd say the art. It started with I'd always loved it. I'd always viewed things that way. I'd always, like, even when I looked at people, I look at the shape of that. Like, my mates are always used to say, "What the fuck are you looking at the top of my head for?" Because I was looking at the shape of that head for some reason. And as soon as I started doing the sculpting, 6 months ago, like, and it was just like I should have been always, like, it was like something I'd never not done. Like, it was just
came to you.
It was just part of me or something. we're now 3 art, and I started to get mad confident. I think that done a lot for me confidence, because there was a professor out of NCAD, and there's an artist out of Flats and all, and there's a few, and they were saying I'm not at a normal level. Like, I shouldn't be as good at it as I am just starting out, so that gave me mad confidence.
I'd love to meet that teacher. That's
I finished my CAO forms today, and I have to just drop my portfolio in, and I should be hopefully going to it there since September.
Savage. Tell us about the bees.
The bees?
Yeah,
the
that's
bees.
when I first seen you. I seen bees. I laugh in the Flats. Where do you get the fucking bees?
Yeah.
So that's why I reached out to you. I thought that's all you did. You're into bees.
Yeah, no.
And now look at you.
The bees
You're a fucking Care Bear with bees.
Yeah, there's another. The bees is just something. Like, nothing I do now I've gone for. It's just people have said to me, "Yeah, do you want to do this?" And I'm like, yeah. Anything you offer me now, I'll go for. Like, Austin he thinks I've forgotten, but I haven't. He's gonna set up to something for me where I go up to the mountains and I study how to read the stars and tell, like, direction from the stars and stuff like that. And then after they teach you that, they drop you off somewhere miles away on your own. You have to find your way out.
Wow.
So that's my plan for the summer. Like, but the bees is the same thing. The bees, I started. Someone just said to me, "Hey, look, I'm looking for someone to look at." In Robert Emmet said, "We're looking for someone to do beekeeping."
Where are the bees?
They're
I
in-
don't see them.
Yeah, they're down in Adam and Eve's church at the back of Watling Street.
We drove by the other day myself and Andy. That's that big box where your man keeps the pigeons.
And then there's like a little dump behind it, and with railings, and it's in there, but they all fucked off on me.
Yeah.
I got the honey, but the queen done a leg.
They went then, did they?
The queen, every 9, that's your main job, is every 9 days you have to check for a thing called a queen cell, because the bees be at the hatch, like, might be at the putting another one in there, and if that happens, the old queen might fuck off, like, so. That's your main job, like.
What words of wisdom do you say to young lads that be looking at this, or parents looking at this and see you? What would you tell them to do to look after themselves? What kind of imparting wisdom would you give to somebody? You know, you've had to absolutely change in your life all by yourself. You've a 360-degree turn. You do amazing work. Now, what would you share to people?
I don't know. I'm still sort of finding my own answers, really. So I don't think I don't feel like I have answers for other people, but I'd obviously, like, if someone wanted talking, they'd like, just, if you have something heavy on your head, just put it out there, and I guarantee you, when you hear it yourself, you won't even need advice. You probably 90% of the time you hear you're at the saying that, and you'll realise this is absolute bollocks. You know, that way talking and find a passion. Like, that's the big thing about working in Robert. I mean, everybody I meet all day, they've passion for what they do, and that rubs off, and you learn things from it. I've met a fella when I was doing my course on social enterprise. He's at the starting a inner city farm on Ballymun, and it's a big bleeding farm, like, and he done that for just to help the locals. It's not doing it to make money for himself. He's not doing it, and everybody on that course was like, they were just doing things because they wanted to help people. But just them people, and they all were mad passionate about what they were trying to do. So then people really, like, inspire you, and just find something, just be passionate about something.
Yeah, and just like what I'm gonna jump on.
Give yourself a break as well, and that's the fucking.
Be kind to yourself. I'm always saying this to people. Be kind to yourself. I want to jump on the passion thing, right? Because people always go, find your passion. But you're doing exactly what I do. Is I'd say yes to anything. I'll give that a go. I don't like this. I like that. And then you start finding your passion. Because people come, I need to know my passion. You need to know your passion by trying loads of different things.
Try everything.
Bees, art, paint, dancing, singing. Well, maybe not dancing because I was shy, as you told me, a hip-hop dancer. And then you find your passion. Isn't it really? Because if people are out there to get worried, I don't know what my passion is, do fucking loads of shit. Yeah,
there's no set thing you should be doing. Like, you figure it out yourself. Like,
some people are lucky to find it.
If you look like people like Eddie Keogh, he's a really inspirational guy. He loves football, so he does the football and he puts everything into it, and they're doing amazing things. So he's found his passion in that area. I don't know really enough to say that about him, like, because I don't talk to him.
I've been following that work, and he's going to come on the podcast, isn't he, with us?
Yeah.
He's a mate of Andy's. We're going to get him on. I love anyone that's doing great work in the community, like yourself, and there's loads of absolute gems in the community.
And he's mad passionate about it. That's the way it's gone well for him. Like, and that's anything you have passion for. Eventually, something will come and good will come from it. It mightn't be what you want it to be or what you expect it to be, but something will come from it.
This probably is the same question again. What's the one thing you would like people to take away from this interview after listening to your story?
Then I'm deadly.
Did you do a course on modesty?
No. I should though.
You should deliver the course on modesty.
Yeah. No, I'm only messing. I don't know.
I'm deadly. I'm bleeding deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so look, unless you have any more pearls of wisdom you want to share with us, I swear to God, and I say this, I'm not blowing smoke up your hole, not because you're a bee. I'm blown away by your attitude. I'm blown away actually by the look in your eyes. You've got magic in your eyes. I met you for a coffee and I said, this lad is going places. He's special.
I feel that now though. I do feel like
I sat in your company and went, this lad is going to do shit. You know, you've got that look in your eyes. I've never seen it before. Probably I've never got to chat with you.
I've never had it before. I genuinely, the old me wouldn't look in your eyes. I'd look at you for a second and then I'd feel like this cunt's gonna ask me something serious.
Yeah,
you know?
I left the conversation and I went, wow, I was really impressed by it. And there's youngsters on the flats looking at, I want them to see, they're not gonna look at me and think I'm inspiration, just think he's just some old lad from the flats. Yeah. Where you're a young lad, they can connect with you, they can see you. Do you know what, if he does it, I can do it. He's from the flats, he talks like me, he looks like me, and he's giving out and a go, biz, fucking writing, painting, arts, teaching.
I will, at this point I'll try art and we're gonna I met a girl, we're going to make a stop motion film.
Yeah.
Like a 10-minute short.
On what?
Well, I can make the sculptures. I don't really want to say because I don't trust people enough to don't rob my idea.
He's clever, isn't he?
We're going to do a stop motion film, just a 10-minute thing, and then I've loads of plans. I really like a mental amount of plans.
Do you journal? Do you write something?
Constantly. If I just went off what I had in the journal for the last few months, I'd have 10 years. Like the next 10 years, I wouldn't.
How do you prioritise it, and what do you
just whatever I feel like with the art? I started with the sculptures and the paintings and combining them because I like the idea of that. I like it. I like the idea of that, making them into one thing.
Right.
And I got the idea from doing the tours to do the sculptures around the exhibition because of the characters. But now the paintings I'm doing are more therapy. Like I'm focusing on like what made me a good person, not like the shitty things that happened. Like what made you a good person? What made you a positive? What made you strong enough to get through the shit in your life? Like, and that's what I'm focusing on painting now. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm a firm believer that you can't drive a car by looking in the rearview mirror. You know, my poison is now my potion. Yeah. I don't keep going backwards. I use it to springboard me forward. And
that's why I don't think counselling really worked for me. Like I was bringing up stuff that I didn't want to bring up. Like, and I'd go home feeling worse. Whereas then I just start doing the art. I just all. Like,
well, you found your counselling. You found your friends. You talked about it. You know, where some people might not have the friends, and counselling might be okay. But I do it. It's great. But I know other people that won't do it, and I've got through it through like what you've done through friends. Again, it's like the antidepressants. It's like counsel. It's like trainings. Find what works for you. Whether it's your passion with art and all that, whatever is mental health, find what works. And some people find that a little bit difficult to hear. Find what works for you.
Like I know loads of people say like there is a lot of negatives about antidepressants, but they did work for me. They did change me in that period where I needed to breathe and look at myself.
Of course.
And that's what they did for me. Like I know other people have horrible effects on them, but for me they worked. And so
yeah, it's like same as exercise. When people talk about exercise being the great way of hope and it's the best thing ever, you go and tell somebody that's depressed you have to do 10Ks, you have to go to do weights and all, and they hate it, you're gonna make it worse. Instead of you said, no, maybe you took up an art class, maybe you took up salsa, maybe you took up, I don't know, knitting or gardening or something. And
beekeeping.
You know, what? Or beekeeping.
But with the art, it was an experience with DMT as well. That sort of like made me say, it was about 2 days after I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. Like,
you done DMT?
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What was that experience like?
Just fucking dead. I don't like I don't want to be controlling anything, but like
DMT it's in our body anyway. It has to be stimulated. We have it in our mind. It's in lettuce. You just need an agent to trigger it.
Yeah, I think it's naturally released when you die and when you're born.
Yeah,
like
but we've DMT in us.
After that, like I was about 3 weeks after I was after having the experience where everything was shitting and I was starting to feel good again. Like when everything was shit, I was going on runs and I was running for 3 hours and I'll come back with my people, you know, just to run away and things like. But I met a fella named Jimmy Lennon who was an artist, and he started to inspire me to do stuff and all, and he was like, just do it, and I was like, no. And then about 2 days, I done the MT, about 2 days later I was like, fuck it, why not? And I got a lot of clay, like mold, it's like what else grommet I made out,
Alright.
and I made stuff with that, and as soon as I made something I was like, Jesus Christ, how many had to do on that? And that's where it all really took off, like.
Savage. Deadly. I absolutely love it. You know, you're an impressive young man.
Thanks.
I'm really impressed. I'm delighted to have you on the show. You're everything that we want here. Inspiration. If you haven't found inspiration in this, there's something wrong with you. You need to get your shit together. Have you any comments, Andy?
There's a question in about the role of community projects working with local pupils and schools and teachers around mindfulness and giving them the skills at 6th class moving into 4th year, which is a very sensitive time for them. What's your thoughts on that?
I really do think you need to do something about 4th and I think 4th and 2nd year are the really dangerous points for people.
I think it should be. I talked to my young one a lot around language, around fear, anxiety, happiness, death, sadness. I use all the words. I don't leave anything out. I think you should be familiar with that. And then from an early age, just to be being mindful and practice talk. Yeah. I think the talk and the language. I think any age. Sure, look, the girls from Shannon's Hopeline, Sandra and Lisa, they do a lot of that stuff. Training kids in Franner, grassroots stuff. I think the sooner the better that kids can put language on emotions and feelings, and they can express it, and they're given an empty space or an open space to actually talk about that, and it becomes normal rather than like you and I growing up, you Andy growing up. I think we never talk about feelings.
I also think it's very hard for people our age or our generation to give advice to youngsters on kids and girls, because we never dealt with what they're dealing with social
different
media.
Generation,
but they have like so many different more problems, like social media, like they've different lives. Like I'm meeting a girl next week, she's studying difference in play, like there's a thing called risky play, like you don't have that anymore as kids.
Positive risk.
Yeah, and she's studying that, so I'm looking forward to meeting her now and helping her. Like,
that's a fantastic question, by the way, and I really appreciate that.
Is there like, are you happy to meet people? People want to know, can they talk to you about doing other projects, or how can they find out more about Robert Emmett?
Just drop into Robert Emmett CDP and come in, and we're always happy to help, and we're always there. That's what we're there for. We want to help people, and we want people to come in and say if the community needs something, Robert Emmett wants to do it. Austin and Anna like that.
Yeah.
When he gets out of his tight clothes.
Yeah, no, you can still move around, it's just constricted.
Poor Austin. Any more questions, Andy?
Joanna was asking, is that a whiskey you're drinking in that glass?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not telling you.
Paul Boylan popped in earlier, though he did say he was 2-0 earlier on to Liverpool.
Thanks for ruining it. I have a recording there.
Well, sure. He said, I had to tell you, he said you shouldn't really be following Liverpool. No, that's we had a great number of people. There must have been over 50 people in on the channel tonight.
Fantastic. Guys,
in.
Brilliant. Guys, listen, thanks very much for tuning in. If you're watching this later on, give us a like, hit the heart button or the wow button. Any questions, any comments, throw them under there. I'll read back, I'll get back in contact with you. Any suggestions for anyone that you'd like us to interview on the podcast, you'd like to come on, send us a private message. We're dying to hear. I love people in the community. I love the Liberties. I love the work that Anthony's doing. As always, I'm going to thank Noel Riley from Rooney Media Graphics, our sponsor, our drop, and all the work he does with the show art. Andy from libertiesphoto.ie. The girls, I absolutely love the girls from Shannon's Hopeline, Lisa and Sandra. When it comes to mental health in the communities, these girls are absolutely smashing it and whacking it out of the park. I love them, and doing the grassroots training with kids. Giving low cost counselling, mental health warriors. For all the people that listen and follow our work, I really appreciate all the love and kindness that you send, the messages, the positivity. Just like Anthony, just like other people I talk about in the community, if you're doing good work in the community, the Liberties people look after you. If you're acting the bollocks and you're full of shit, you won't get looked after. But so we are really, I'll just echo what Anthony says earlier, it is all about the community, and we'd love to hold on to that. And with the likes of Anthony, which I think will go on to do amazing work in the community and spur loads of people. So that's really it. Next week we have the interview. It's an anonymous interview where Andy's going to bring in one of his mates or something. He won't tell me who it is. I'm going to be blindfolded. I won't be wearing a rubber suit or anything like that.
Jerry Adams.
Jerry Adams, imagine that. But yeah, tune in. If anything, it might be a car crash, but I doubt it. Like, I won't have questions prepared. I'll just generally follow the flow and see what happens. We'll have a bit of crack. If anything, you'll have a bit of crack looking at me fluffing and making the balls of it. So that's really it. As always, mind your little self. And we see you all next week. Have a fantastic evening. Bye-bye.